You sell 1,000 products in 100 cities. That's the formula you use to do it independently. Yo, y'all, Beautiful Nightmares TV, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. We got a crazy episode coming up today. My man KC Odos been going crazy out here in the A, so you know we had to just sit down and put something together for the people real quick. So definitely make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Bro, appreciate you.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure having you.
I'm glad to be here, brother.
Yo, tell them what we in real quick, first of all, just before we get started.
Well, we had a couple of options. My brother hit me up. Yeah. My brother Reeve hit me up, said, yo, let's connect. Let's get some positivity flowing, and let's try to, you know what I mean? Let's just try to put something together for the people. So shortly we had what we in now is the Maybach Sprinter that's available for rent. You know, we got several Maybach options. We have
not the regular Sprinter, the Maybach Sprinter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not regular, but you know what? It could be regular if you
need it.
Yeah, if you need it. It's always available if it's not available. But like I said, we have this Maybach, which is actually in the fleet of another Maybach, but this one is for sale as well. So if you're looking to get your transportation, get your fleet going, get anything going that you need up off the ground, this Maybach Sprinter is already ready, built out, ready. 2 TVs, front is already decked out,
LED
everything.
Lights, crazy.
It's nothing that this Sprinter needs. This Sprinter is ready to go. So if you're supposed to purchase this Sprinter today, you'll be able to make money from it today. And there's no reason for you not to make money from it. And if you do, even if you purchase it and still need clientele, we can still help you on that aspect as well. So it's not like we're gonna leave you out to dry if you're getting your feet wet. So we have this. We have another Maybach Sprinter with the tan interior. We have another Sprinter that holds 13, which is also for sale, but that one is not a Maybach Sprinter.
What this one hold?
This holds, it's about 13, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
10, solid,
yeah, 10 seater, 10 seater.
And they come with the driver you was telling them, right?
Yes, so if you want to rent it, it's a 6-hour minimum. Just depends on how long you want to keep it. You know, we can fluctuate with the time, but normally it's about $180 an hour, 6-hour minimum. You can make multiple stops throughout the night. We have Maybach sedan, we have Maybach trucks, we have Cullinans available, and all of these come with the chauffeur. So it gives you the luxury of going out. Even if you have a meeting, you can sit down in the back and politic with whoever it is that comes, that you want to sit down and have lunch with or dinner with or brunch with. And we also use this for weddings, for events like future concert, weekly rates. You want to go out of town, things of that nature. So we have.
So they could hit you and really just go out of town and just be on the road with the driver too.
Absolutely, and all of that will be included with the.
Where they hit you at if they trying to like?
You can hit me on Instagram. Hit me on Instagram. KC.autos. But also too, if you just want to just do the transportation, it can be Elite Transportation ATL on Instagram, or you can call the number 678-935-8125, and we can connect that way. You can shoot a text, you could DM. So either pages, Elite Transportation ATL or KC.autos, and you can just tap in from there.
Alright, so y'all see, bro is a salesman, a businessman, and he ready to do business with y'all. So if y'all want to rent it out, buy any vehicles. He got other vehicles too. He was showing me he got full-size sedans, trucks, cargo vans, all type of vehicles. So if you need a vehicle or you want to rent a vehicle and you in the Atlanta area, definitely tap in with bro. But on another subject, you know, just tell the people like who you are, where you came from. What was your uprising, and you know, before you got into KC Autos and before you got into the car industry, you know, give us a little quick run through of your background, you know?
Absolutely, and not even to cut you off. So basically what we sell is anything with the engine. So we sell planes, we have planes available. We have food trucks available.
Wait, y'all got planes available?
Airplane, aircrafts.
Like
Gulfstreams,
like what type of planes?
Falcon
like
200.
PJs?
Yes, private jets.
So somebody could just hit you for a PJ.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually, at the moment, I tapped in with some very important people about the rentals of the private jets that we actually have at the moment. We typically sell, so that was, we actually tapped in with someone at InvestFest over.
Yeah.
So we tapped in with some heavy people.
Shout out Earn Your Leisure, man.
Absolutely.
InvestFest was a ball, and InvestFest is where we connecting the dots and coming together, and you networking, and you know you meeting people there and making things happen. So definitely shout out to the guys, man. You know they always support, so only right we share the love back. You know?
Absolutely. And before I even get into my thing, I want to say rest in peace, Jack, because I know that's going crazy right now in the town, and I'm pretty sure we wish that. I'm sure that we both wish that we can be there
Westchester
right now.
legend.
Absolutely, but we just want to send our condolences, because when I actually moved from Brooklyn, New York to Greenburgh, I met Miss Jackie, and she called me Brooklyn. But you know, I just want to send my condolences to the family and everybody who's mourning the loss of a real legend. Absolutely, I just want to send my condolences to the family.
That's a fact.
So just to give y'all a little background about me, I moved from Brooklyn, New York to Greenburgh. I was probably in the 6th grade. I went to R.J. Bailey.
So you was in Brooklyn until what? Till you was about 12?
Yeah, until the 6th grade.
What part of Brooklyn?
I was in Canarsie, actually. You know, now they call it the Floss.
The Floss.
You know what I mean?
Smoke, R.P. Pop Smoke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a real historical, real popular part of town right now. You know, with the uprise, a lot of drill music and things of that nature. But I'm originally from 94th between Farragut and Glenwood. So that area is rich with a lot of athletes and, you know what I mean, musicians. So that's why I was born and raised. Then I moved to Greenburgh in the 6th grade. Went to R.J. Bailey. Met a lot of dope people in a way. I was heavy in basketball, so you know basketball kind of steered my path. You know what I mean? And
when that picked up, when you started hooping?
I've been hooping since I was about 3 years old. And the craziest thing, so my family is from Jamaica, so my moms really didn't know that I was hooping. We had an older brother, but you know, she would always think we'd go to the park or whatever the case may be, but she didn't really know that I was good until she finally came out
to a game,
and then seen like, oh, he actually got some talent. So you know, we just wanted to hoop. That's all we did. Me and my cousins growing up, Swizzy, and you know what I mean, Cuts and Bubs, that's all we did. We would get on a train, go to Queens, go to play Soul in the Hole, playing these legendary.
You play a little A. I know you play AU in the town, but who you was with? Riverside.
Absolutely. So I'm about to say before I had a little stints. My first AU team was probably Brooklyn USA.
Alright.
Then for Brooklyn USA, you know, Anisha Sports held it down for a good while. Had a lot of good people who actually, you know what I mean? Like my Coach G, call him Coach Gary, Doughboy. We had a lot of good people who, you know what I mean, that just was there for the youth. That was with Anisha Sports. Then from Anisha Sports, you know, Riverside, chose for the most part. Then, but that was when I actually moved to Greenburgh.
You used to play with Haas, right?
Coach Haas took me under the wing.
I remember that.
Every morning, me, Tails, Brian, Eddie, Larry, we would be at the center. Coach Haas would come and get everybody if you wanted to go, you know what I mean? If you wanted to grind, he had us 5 a.m., 6 a.m.s at the center, working out every morning before school.
Shout out to Haas, man, you know.
Yeah,
family.
He was responsible for a lot of my success
of players too.
After leaving Greenburgh, because it finally started to click, you know what I mean? It don't normally click right away. So the time that I was putting in,
you started to realize like, yo, it caught up to you.
Yeah,
like, I put in the work.
Started to correlate to, and then Coach Haas took us everywhere. Then by that time, Coach Haas was taking us to the Chos. He was coaching the Chos.
Rumble in the Bronx, all of those
everything.
hoops in the sun.
Gym Rat down in Virginia, we winning that. So Coach Haas played a pivotal and a really vital role in my success, and that's why even now being in Atlanta, I still send my son down there to Haas.
On the summertime?
During the summer.
Alright.
Yeah, so like now AAU starting to pick up for him, so I'm trying to get him out there beforehand, but school let out here earlier than in New York City.
Right.
So but yeah, Coach Haas played a pivotal role, and then not only that, That's where Shotty was a real inspiration to me, because at that time he was at UMBC, which is University of Maryland, Boston.
Facts.
Baltimore, like UMBC.
UMBC, it's like
Yeah.
University of Maryland,
Maryland,
Baltimore,
Baltimore County or something like that.
Yeah.
And Shotty sent me some shorts, and man, I wore them shorts everywhere. You know
I
what
remember,
mean? Like,
not to cut you, I remember like when he was in the game, when he was in like NCAA 2005 or something, or like 04 or something like that. I don't know if you remember that, but we was playing the game in the crib, and it's like, yo, damn, like to see somebody in your family actually in a video game was like, yo, like, this is crazy. That's when I was like, yo, I want to hoop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Started working out with Haas a lot, and I was like, yo, I don't even want to, because I played a little bit with Greenberg Falcons, with Coach Steve, Coach Lee, the guys, you know? It was like, yo, I just want to play basketball. So that's when I started really working out with Coach Benji. You know,
he was there for me a lot too, because he was there running the center tournaments where we would go. He really do your push-ups, do your 50s every single night. You need to do 50 push-ups.
Benji gonna make you put in that work.
Yeah. So, you know, everyone, I don't want to leave nobody out, because there was so much people that actually actually made sure I stayed on a good path, you know what I mean, and stayed focused and locked in. So, and then at that time, Troy was always around, you know. Troy was always at the center. He made sure grades was always intact, you know what I mean? Just make sure, you know, just somebody who people could vent to, and things of that nature. So, I just want to say thank you for everybody, you know, because we really don't get a chance to say thank you for the things that, you know, people did for us in the past, or like raising us up, you know, because it'd be hard, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we never really say thank you. We never really said sorry. Just coming up from.
That's important. Sometimes it's just like we wait till people pass away, and then it's like, yo, this was such a great person.
Absolutely.
Nah, so while people is here, we gotta actually let them know, like, yo, we appreciate y'all for this, or you was important and pivotal in my life. Because I wanted to touch on another thing. How was that transition for you coming from Brooklyn? You know, it's like a city area, more of a crazy area, transitioning into like more of an upstate Greenberg type of vibe. What was the transition for you like, or just at that age did you really notice any differences?
To be honest with you, the transition, like really and truly, I'm not gonna say it was hard or was easy, because I really don't remember. But I just feel like basketball made it easy, because I remember being in Bailey going crazy outside at lunchtime.
Right.
And everybody like, yo, it's a new kid from Brooklyn. So it kind of gave me that gave me that warm welcome feel, you know what I mean, just through the sports of basketball. Because, you know, it could be hard for a kid moving to a brand new area. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Familiar with the community.
Absolutely. So basketball kind of spoke for me in a sense. And I was always one that was always big into fashion. So, you know what I mean? I wasn't the one getting cracked on for not having
you've been putting it on.
You know what I mean? So I dressed very well. I'm gonna say at the time, you know, Pele Leathers was big, Benson's was big, like
Mermonts and all that type of stuff.
Now, really and truly, Mermonts didn't get that big for my era. My era was the snorkel, North Face with the fur on the hood. That was my era. Vance and Leathers was big. Like Pele Leathers was big. You feel me? Like, and at that time, it was. Really and truly, even if you put on whatever it is that you put on, as long as you was clean, it didn't really matter.
Because in the city, like in the Bronx, like if you had a Pele Pel or like a Merm, they was trying to get you. Like they was straight, it was kids robbing kids. Like just coming up, I remember it was like, yo, it's not even safe to get this type of jacket you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to worry about what comes with having a Pel or having a Mermont type of jacket.
Unfortunately, I wasn't like a victim to that, because, you know, having older brothers, older brother, you know, I can say brothers with the S, because I had my blood brother, but then his friends, they became basically.
So you always had like a village of people that was looking up.
Absolutely. So, and then it was kind of like, if you was going to do that, you kind of had to deal with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that
wasn't. Think twice about
that wasn't really happening to me, and I was just fortunate enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just seeing so ultimately it all boils down to, you know, basketball basically prepared me for that transition. Ultimately, basketball prepared me for that transition.
So take us to like after Bailey. So after Bailey, you went over to play high school where, over at Woodlands?
Yeah, so after Bailey, we went to, it's crazy because we was in middle school. Middle school, is connected to Woodlands. So it's kind of like both the middle school and the high school connected in one. And in middle school, I never played. In middle school, I played JV.
Oh, so you was playing junior varsity in what, 8th grade or 7th grade?
7th grade.
Damn.
Me and Dante Taylor. They made us do.
You went to Pittsburgh,
physical.
right?
Yeah, he went to Pittsburgh University, McDonald's
American,
All-American.
right? Yeah.
He's a legend, in my opinion, in Greenberg. He's a legend, period.
He's a McDonald's All-American.
Right, what are we talking about?
He's a McDonald's All-American.
This is a Mickey's.
Yeah.
This is a McDonald's All-American. In the basketball world, we call it Mickey. He's a Mickey, you know what I mean? So, he's a Big Mac, you feel me? So, I remember us in the little gym doing a physical where we had to hold on to the bar for 30 seconds. We had to run a certain amount of time.
Right.
And in a certain amount of laps and miles, and it's crazy. Matter of fact, Coach Haas coached me in football. I played football for the first time, and we didn't lose no games.
That was at Woodlands or for the Falcons?
Woodlands, yeah, Woodlands Falcons.
Well, they both the Falcons, because they got the Greenberg Falcons.
See, I didn't know nothing about that. I just think it was one thing at that time. So
yeah,
we was playing football. Me, Ice, Tails.
Yeah.
A couple of older kids was playing. We played football. We didn't lose no games.
We had that. Shout out to the guys over at GBA, man. They've been doing their thing. They've been going crazy.
My son Spanks.
Yeah.
No, matter of fact, I'm lying. Tails never came. Tails went to Steppenette. So.
Tails had some game too.
Yeah,
Tails had some game.
Tails had a lot of game. A lot of game. He was a dog. He went to Steppenette. So he went that route. And it's crazy because a bunch of us was going to branch out and do our own thing because Coach Haas had us about to go to Worcester Academy. You know what I mean?
Because he was over there, right? He was coaching over there.
Yeah, he had some connections over there. We had got an interview. We had to dress up nice. And so Coach Haas was basically looking out for all of our best interests. You know what I mean? Let us go prep. Let's go get that real education. Or a good education. I'm not going to say it was, you know what I mean? Get that good education. Get that college preparatory that we needed to groom us later on in life. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Haas. But then we made the team. JV. We playing JV in middle school, whatever. 7th, 8th grade. Then, that time, Dante transfer. He leaves. Which was a great choice of his and his family. He went out, to another school, just got the development that he needed. Get away from, getting away from the town. And it was very good to his success with him becoming a McDonald's All-American and things of that nature. Then boom, I was playing varsity along with a great cast. We ended up losing the first 8 games. I never forget this. We ended up losing the first 8 games. So you was
playing varsity as a freshman? Now, when you go into high school in 9th grade, right? Because you're already playing JV in 7th and 8th grade. So in 9th grade, are you on varsity at that point, or are you still at JV?
To be honest with you, I don't think I was on varsity at that time because they still had some studs up there. They still had some studs. And
so when you started playing varsity, 10th grade?
Probably 10th grade. I don't want to lie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even remember my freshman year.
Yeah.
I could have probably still played JV again.
You play JV sometimes as a freshman, and then they move you up for the playoffs.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it was like that whole freshman year, kind of like blank. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I just remember my sophomore year. We started out 0-8. I didn't play. I remember this like it was yesterday. I didn't play. And 0-8, we had to start. I barely played minutes. And we had a team meeting. Coach called, hey, y'all got a team, go in there and have a team meeting. Basically was like, man, we went in there like, bro, we don't even have to have a team meeting. Worrell is not playing. Worrell needs to be playing. Coach laughed. Because, you know what I mean? Coach laughed for whatever reason. He felt like he was going to prove a point. Worrell's not playing.
So let me play him and see what happens.
Let's let Worrell play. We won 14 straight. We went all the way to the county center.
So at this point, you come from not playing to starting, or just getting a little bit of playing time?
From not playing to starting.
Just straight starting.
Yeah, not playing to starting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We won 14 straight. Everybody on the team could vouch for this. Certain people had to sit down for me to start. for me to play and for me to do what I needed to do. But everybody
y'all won
knew.
14 straight.
14 straight. We beat the number 1 team, won the region.
Who was the number 1 team at that point in Westchester?
Well, just in our region. I don't even think it was more so a Westchester thing. No, it was just our region, whatever region we was in. We won that out. We end up going all the way to the county center championship game. We end up losing to JFK. So that means I went 14-1. We lost the county center championship game. For us to go to like
to the state championship.
Yeah, whatever whatever it is.
Yeah.
I forgot the terminology of it.
No, it states after the county center, you go upstate now. And now you playing like you might be playing like Lincoln High School.
We lost to a private school at that, so we didn't lose to like a regular public school.
Right.
We lost to JFK, John F. Kennedy. And
so how you finished up over there at Woodlands? Like so after the sophomore year, junior, senior year, you were starting obviously.
I cut.
You left.
I cut. I didn't tell nobody I was leaving. Cause you know why?
What was your decision? Why you left it?
I didn't tell nobody why I was leaving. Like nobody. You know why? Cause I knew that they would persuade me to stay. My mom actually bought a crib out here my sophomore year. I stayed out here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I stayed in Greenburgh with my aunt's crib. 177 Warren Avenue, right across the street from the church.
Yeah, right there.
In 33.
Yeah, right there.
Right on the corner. I stayed right there. I stayed with my aunt for that year, and basically said, "Now we got a good team. You know what I mean? I feel like we can win it all." So that's why I didn't cut the first time. But when I see where things was going, not only that, people who the coach was playing in front of me, it was going to be their senior year, my junior year. That make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So that's why I had to cut. Remind you. So now it's about getting these players in the school.
Right.
So, and the player that was playing in front of me, it was his senior year, and the coach felt like he had to get him a school. You know what I mean? Like, so, and it's crazy because I remember leaving. The real reason why I never even left, why I didn't tell nobody I was leaving, was because I knew my friends would persuade me to stay. That's how tight we was.
So you just had to, one of those things in life where you just had to make a move.
Yeah, and I couldn't let nobody know. They was hitting me like, "Yo, where you at? Be hooping up." I'm already down in the A. I'm down here. Like. So
you came out to Atlanta.
Came out to Georgia. Not even like I wasn't even in the city of Atlanta, but just more so Georgia on the outskirts. Like you see where we at now. This is where.
So you came out here what your senior year?
My junior year.
Your junior year.
My junior year.
And then out here, what'd you do? You went straight to a public school out here?
Yeah, I came straight to the school was brand new, but it was more so like at that time that was considered like the country. It's still considered country, but it's closer to the city than the country. But it wasn't developed yet, so the school was brand new. The school, like I was the first person to step in the building, like that's how brand new the school was. You know what I mean? The school opened in 2006. I came here 2006. So
So you literally one of the first.
Yeah.
You were the group of the first students to ever even go. What school was that?
Absolutely. That's Alcovey High School. Right. It's in Covington, Georgia. And
So do they have a basketball team and a football team like already? Being that it's such a new school.
Right. They didn't have it. They didn't have a team, but they had coaches. So they didn't know who they was going to get.
But they just knew it was a new school, and we're gonna have a basketball team.
Absolutely. Every team. So football, basketball, baseball, soccer, girls basketball. So they already knew that was going to be in the works, but they didn't know who the student was because once a new school comes, you have to rezone. Neighborhoods get rezoned and things of that nature. So I get out here, I start going crazy. I'm going crazy. You feel me? Like
what's crazy?
I'm going crazy. Like I can't even tell you what crazy was because if I tell you, my friends is gonna say, "Bro, you didn't describe it better. You didn't describe it good enough." You know what I mean? Like
you talking about on the court, like so you going like stat numbers wise, you putting up junior year 25. That's crazy to me. Like 30 a night, 25.
Let's just say I ended up scoring over 1,000 points in 2 years. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So you going crazy?
You do the math.
Yeah.
Some people don't score 1,000 points in 4 years.
I never scored 1,000 points, I think, ever in my whole life.
I did 1,000 plus.
2 years.
2 years. And ended up getting schools, but then it was hard for me to get to schools. I ain't gonna lie, my grades wasn't always the best. And then not only that, the transferring grade wise from.
They're not taking a lot of credits. Because I transferred from New York down to Florida, and they dropping off a lot of credits, and it's like, yo, we don't take that. We don't take that English too.
Absolutely.
So you got to restructure your whole transcript.
Absolutely. So then now I'm doing night school. I'm doing
alternative school vibes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all of these things just to make sure that I'm ready for the clearinghouse.
Right.
And that was another thing too. We didn't know nothing about no clearinghouse. Well, coach never put us in a position at Worrell to say, hey, go take go take a practice SAT, go take a practice ACT, things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I didn't do that my sophomore year. I had to come out here and figure it out. And I realized clearinghouse, you need a certain number of credits, you need a certain number of core credits
to get. You gotta have a certain SAT
score, which matches up with your grade. So the lower your grades in high school, the
higher
your
your
SAT
SAT is.
The ACT, and the ACT was easier for me.
Because they don't take the ACT in New York, they take the SAT.
Yeah.
But down south, like in Georgia, Florida, and they do the ACT.
Absolutely. So that things had to get.
You have to get that in order.
Yeah. So with me hustling and bustling, and with the school being brand new, they didn't think that there was going to be no athletes there.
Right. So they're not even expecting, like, yeah, we going to get this dude from New York who really going to come in and turn up the program.
Our first year we went to state.
Damn. So they like, yo, this new school, they going crazy for real.
Yeah, we went to state our first year. So it's the schools that been in this area that didn't go to state.
12, 15 years. That's just like
for a first year program to do that.
Y'all had some guys that could go for real, or you felt like you was really running the show?
I couldn't.
You was obviously running the show. You had 1,000 points.
I couldn't have did that.
But y'all had some guys. Like y'all had some dudes.
We built that camaraderie. You know what I mean? Like my boy Jordan Butts.
How long it took y'all to start snapping? Like before things was clicking, you would say, was it like a few games in, or like?
Honestly, not even to sound crazy, we had dogs that fed off of my energy.
Yeah, once you got one dog, then it's like
they was willing to match my energy though.
Yeah.
Like was picking up 94 feet. Like people ain't never really see that. Like
man full court.
And I was willing. I realized, like, bro, I'm not the biggest guy. I never was the biggest guy.
So you had to be scrappy type of guy.
And I was always very athletic. When it was crazy, I broke my leg in the center dunking. So I was only smaller than this. This is my 9th grade season. So that's why my 9th grade year, one of my years was very, very blurry. That's why I broke my leg. I broke my leg, and I don't think. Yeah, I didn't play that year. So I'm not tripping. Yeah. I broke my tibia and my fibula, both bones in my legs. Broke it. Boom. Clean break. I ended up sitting out. So my sophomore year, I believe, is when I fully came back around. I had got my cast off, did a couple of rehab sessions, and I wasn't even supposed to be out there. I wasn't supposed to be out there. Nah, I told my mom I was studying after school, getting my grades right.
Really,
she came to pick me up, looked in the gym window. I never forget it. I looked, like, bro, that's my mom, bro. She looking at me. I'm supposed to be at study hall studying.
Right.
But I'm in there limping. But I had to, because I felt like I said, it was people that was in front of me that was going to get these spots that if I didn't show up to tryouts, I wasn't going to make the team. Even though everybody in Westchester County can say, yeah, he's the best guard, I still had to come to tryouts. That's just how I felt. Right. So with me hobbling, I still showed up.
Right.
So with that being said, that's why that 9th grade year was a blur. So going back, we had dogs, Jordan Butts, a boy Marcus Ford, and it's crazy because there's three pros on that team, this high school team.
So some of them actually went on to play D1 basketball or D2.
Yeah, they actually went to school for free. So I don't care what division
That's
it
what
is.
matters. Yeah,
NAIA, JUCO, whatever the case may be, went to school and
talk about how important that is, because a lot of dudes, right? I was one of those guys, like, yo, if I don't go D1 or D2, I'm not playing. But to be honest, I just wasn't a D1 talent.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of guys end up missing out on getting a free education or missing out on getting the opportunity because they so focused on going Division 1. But it's so much guys that go NAIA or JUCO Division 3. You got guys that went Division 2 that end up going to the league or even going pro.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot of guys just end up going back to the hood or going back to bad situations just because they couldn't have the Division 1 title.
So a lot of people tend to It's kind of like if you had $1 million and somebody took $10 from you, would you throw away the million? But that's our mentality. The mentality be key in those kind of situations.
So it's just like a small-minded kind of thing where it's like, yo, I didn't go D1, so I'm gonna throw out all my opportunities.
Right. It's kind of like you throwing everything away because you feel like it's a persona thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so
it's
now
like
when everybody
ego type thing.
absolutely, when everybody come back that did go Division 1, they feel like you could talk down to me. You feel me? Like they feel like they could belittle you. You know what I mean? So, and ultimately we kind of lose track of that. We kind of lose track of the important things coming from where we come from.
Right, like getting a free education and getting the opportunity to go meet. You might go to a D2 or meet some guy that's going to be, you know,
Even
running a KC Autos or doing something that you just meet at school.
Absolutely.
Because this is some of the best networking you're going to get in your life is at college.
And that's going to be some of your best friends you ever meet at college. Some
Right.
people that actually have some sense.
And just the experience of going to college and learning about
Absolutely.
staying away from your parents and actually the responsibility of getting up and going to class and just the different things that...
Not only that, you learn the structure. You learn certain things that you didn't have back home. You had the freedom. You never really, because living with your parents, you never really had the freedom to get up and say, you know what, I can go do this if I want to. I can come home anytime I want to. I don't gotta eat if I don't want to. I don't gotta clean up if I don't want to.
Right.
I have no responsibilities. So this kind of grooms us to be young adults, young men. Teach us how to cook. Teach us how to manage time. Teach us how to...
Everything. You gotta go do your laundry.
Absolutely.
You might need a job. A lot of people go to college. You might need to work, go to class, study. Then you doing, you know.
Because some people upbringings is different. Sometimes you being a full-time student, the average person being a full-time student don't got time to go to work. But if you got people back home that's depending on you to make some bread, you're gonna find the
something
time
to do,
work.
right, on campus or whatever.
Absolutely. So, and the JUCO route is kind of different, but still, you can still walk out of there with associates. And a lot of places that actually matter, they take associates. They take you actually get some form of education.
Right. And then you roll right over from the associates right into a 4-year program.
Yeah, but even if let's just say if you don't got no scholarships, you still got associates.
Right. You still can hit the real world and make something happen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you just gotta choose this is another thing too, choosing the right major. I know a lot of my friends have a major that they can't do nothing with.
They can't use in the real world.
And we don't know. How will we know? We just know that these grades correlate to this. We don't know. We don't find, a lot of us don't like school. You know what I mean? A lot of us say, you know what, I don't want to go to school. Yeah.
I was one of those guys, I hated school.
I hated school too. So I know that, hey, if I can go to school for free, I just knew that I was going. So, and ultimately, I was the first person in my family to go to school.
That's major.
I was the first person to go get a degree, multiple degrees. I was the first in my family to go to a 4-year.
So let's jump into that. So you went right from, so you finished up school out here in Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm. So
and then you went.
So Alcove. So okay, cool. So Alcove was so brand new. I had to start averaging 40 to get
You averaged
my
40?
my first couple of
40 or like 34 or like 40.
Could be like 34.
40's diff.
Could be like 34, but it was nights where I was hitting 40s.
45. What was the highest you ever scored?
62. Yeah, 62.
I feel like as an opposing coach, like you
now,
gotta go boxing one or something. Like how?
And not only
62
that, it was
crazy.
And that's when. But the craziest thing is that. So I ended up leaving.
That's like some 2K shit. Like yo, he gave us 62.
I ended up leaving Alcove because the school, like I said, the school was just too new. So I started getting like Ole Miss and schools like that. That was offering
Right
me from Alcove. But it was just too, like, in order for me to get all those schools, it was just too hard for me to. I had to work too hard. I left there and I went prep.
Senior year.
Yeah. So, 08, I left and I went prep, right? So at this point it was, like I said, my senior year. I left there and I went prep, right? So when I go prep, I went to a Christian school, Sound Doctrine Christian Academy, in Troup County, which was probably about an hour from here. I went to Troup County out there, and we had a squad. I mean, a squad. squad.
Yeah, because you got guys from all over. And
we got a bunch of kids from LA.
That prep hoops is different.
We had a squad.
So you roll over there and you know, starting immediately over there, and y'all got some guys, or you had to like show and prove? You felt like you had to go there and they already knew like, yo, this kid is a dog, or you had to show and prove?
And my boy Coach Drew, he put me on the sound doctrine out there, but anybody could have started, bro. That's how crazy our team.
Oh, so 1 to 12, y'all was loaded. It was like a
we was loaded.
It was like an Oak Hill type of vibe, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
not Oak Hill, but that vibe though. Like 1 through 12, everybody can go, or at their hometown, or they high schools, they can go.
Everybody from there went Division 1. Everybody.
Damn. So you got guys that's like coming off the bench, 10, 15-minute guys that's going like D1.
But ultimately, I was there for one class. But I was there for 1 or 2 classes because I didn't clear in the clearinghouse originally, because them grades I didn't clear. So, with that being said, I went there, but the school had so much problems, you know what I mean, that it was hard for our grade. We was accredited and everything. It was just hard for our grades to correlate to the clearinghouse.
Right.
Believe it or not, bro, I went JUCO.
So that's so you couldn't go right from the prep school into college, but you had the offers, you had the schools, but you couldn't get through the clearinghouse.
Starting to get a lot of schools from there. Started getting a lot more schools, and the craziest thing, I didn't even have to average that much. Probably average about, bro, because we were so loaded. But you're playing
at the highest level,
we were so loaded. But we playing against the Oak Hills. We playing against
the top competition. So if you getting 15 against Oak Hill,
12 to 15, that's what I got.
You can go, right?
I got about 15 to 20 schools, and it's crazy because once I left Woodlands, my boy LG, Larry Grant hit me like, yo, bro, it's crazy because the coach is saying you had all of these schools, and all these schools was hitting you up, but he never told me none of this. So what was his purpose? You know what I mean? Like he you know what I mean? Like I just don't understand.
You never know. Maybe he just didn't want you to get too big-headed or no. So you know, we never know.
And the crazy thing is, I never even told nobody about me speaking on this topic. I let it go because let's just be real. I don't want to sound crazy, but I became successful, so I didn't have to dwell on that. You know what I mean? Like that's somebody who's bitter. You know what I mean? Let's just say,
somebody
you see what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like
I could have went to Ole Miss. I could have went here.
Like I'm gonna sound like the old guy that's be at the gas station that's drunk every day.
Yeah, like I would have made it, but my coach ain't want to let me.
You feel me? Like
shoot threes.
So I put all that on the back burner. I don't care. Like I didn't care about none of that. I just figured that me moving was the best situation. That was the best for me. I did that, and I think that might have been the best decision that I made in my life.
And that's what separates like even like a high level quarterback from like just a guy who could play, because it's like those high level guys, they know how to make adjustments. They know how to come to the line and be like, yo, we got to run a different play.
Ultimately,
we got to go a different route.
I'm glad you said that. You want to know what's crazy? You want to know what separates a high level player from a mid level or low level player? Being coachable. What if your game is off and your coach said, now you got to play defense? You ain't gonna play if you're not gonna make the right read.
Right.
Average kids like, what you mean I'm not gonna play? Their mentality is they already defeated themselves mentally before you're not coachable.
Right. And that's the stigma they got on New York guys. Like a lot of New York guys just come into a program, and coaches like, you know, at like high level colleges, or just, you know, because I know a lot of high level guys that came out of New York, right? And just the stigma on them is like, oh, this guy's gonna be not coachable, or he wants to dribble a million times. So already coming into a high level program from New York, you already got that, like a coach is looking for you to do. You got like a smaller rope because the coach is looking for you to do something wrong or to not listen, because that's just like
like you hanging yourself. So, and ultimately, it's crazy because I was never highly sought after in New York City. Like, I was never.
So it took you getting out of your area and coming out to Georgia for people to be like, yo, this kid can play at a high level.
Absolutely. I was playing on shows with guys like Daryl Truck Bryan, Jordan Theodore. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't there when I left. Kemba kind of made that transition, but I wasn't there. Like guys like Curtis Lovin, like. These guys is ranked in the state of New York. I'm playing behind them. I wasn't starting. Some games I probably would start. Then a coach came with his son from Jersey. You know what I mean? So, like, every situation I was in a situation where somebody came with somebody that played my possession in front of me. I just figured that it just made sense.
And that just touched on a big point. Like, you gotta be ready for your time. You can't. Oh, I'm not gonna play basketball. Somebody always playing in front of me. I'm gonna go do this.
The thing was though, I was willing to go to battle with them. I went into battle with them, so it wasn't like it's not working out for me. I'm out. I stayed.
That's probably what made you sharp.
I stayed and I fighted those battles. I wasn't playing. I fighted those battles. I came to practice and I was ready to go to war. I was ready to put the work in. I was ready to put the pain in. I was ready to prove. I was always.
Where you feel like you got that, because you know that's a mentality thing. Like, that's just something you gotta have in you. Like, where's that?
Hustle,
where you think you got that from? Where it's like
the hustle just came from my parents. You know what I mean? Like, my mom wasn't born and raised here. My mom was born and raised in Jamaica. Then she moved to Brooklyn. Matter of fact, she moved. I was almost born in England. My mom came to America and she was poor. She didn't have no money. She didn't know what was next. You know what I mean? So, as soon as she came here, she gave birth to me, and the rest was history. So I seen the sacrifices that she used to make. I seen the hustle. I seen the drive. Like, it was none of it. I never seen nothing like it. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like someone's upbringing is very, very vital to their character. And it's crazy because I was never in a situation where, and everybody always asks me like, yo, where's your pops? Or I was never in a situation, just me being around my cousins like Swizzy and Bubs, and seeing their moms and their pops together was the only time. Or coming to Coach High's house and seeing his moms and pops married. Like, I never was in a situation where I felt like, damn, where's my pops? Never, not one time. Because my mom made it happen. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like she made it happen and we were struggling. Like, I can't give you no, you feel me? Like, I can't give you no time.
You ate dinner every night. You had clothes on your back. You was alright.
Ate the best food, had the best clothes, and we still was hungry for more. Like, we still had jobs, bro. We was outside hustling. We had newspaper routes in Brooklyn. We had hustles where we would go to businesses and say, we were willing to pass out your flyers. You know what I mean? We around thousands of people every day. We'd go to the train stop, last stop on the L, Canarsie, Rockaway Parkway. We would go there and hand out flyers, get money. We would do all types of things for the bread, shovel snow for the bread. We had so many hustles that
I used to take the L to Broadway Junction.
Broadway Junction, get on the AEC and go
all the way from the Bronx. I would take the 2 down to like 14th,
man,
transfer to the L with a Broadway Junction. I had a coach.
We did everything, man. We played basketball so much every single day. Like, we would go to the park. We go to Kingston. We go everywhere just to go hoop, and then other people's parents would see us, give us rides, and we would ride. You know what I mean? Like, so many people played a pivotal role in the upbringing and everything. But like, so boom.
Yeah, we got so just because we got so much to build on, we gonna have to do a few episodes of this.
Facts.
But tell them about how you ended up at Depaul. Like after the JUCO route, because that's what I seen out in the office. You got the Depaul jersey hanging up, and take us there. How you get to Depaul?
Man, so
and we go from there.
We go to go everywhere I went. We had killers, bro. So we go JUCO. We only lose one game, but they jerk us. We lose one game. We lost. I would never forget. We lost to Gaston State. I want to say we beat them by 59 though at home.
That's crazy.
We go there and they jerk us. We lose to them. Then
there's no way you should lose to a team you beat by 60.
Foul calls was crazy, but okay, cool. Push fast forward. We ranked in the top 25.
Junior colleges.
Yeah, in the country. We doing what we supposed to do. We had so much talent on that team. A lot of our players end up choosing the wrong school because, again, we have no guidance. We didn't know what was best for us. We don't know the right schools. We went there saying we wanted to just get out of this JUCO, because JUCO was for dogs. No food, no nut. Like, it's for dogs. It's you playing against grown men, niggas. People is 25 years old, 24. You 19. 18.
Yeah, and they hungry.
They looking at it like this is my way
food.
out.
Yeah, this is my food.
You can go play Division 1. 26, 27.
Right.
Not Division 1. You can go play Division 2.
Right.
No age restriction out there.
Right.
So they looking at like, yo, this is my way out. They got kids. And then my first son was born. Matter of fact, I was a sophomore. You know what I mean? I was a sophomore out there. Kingston was born, and it's crazy because I met my shorty back in '06 when I first moved here. You know what I mean? So we've been rocking. You know,
You still well now?
Yeah. It's, you know, we locked in more so for everything now. We got 2 boys, you know, Kingston and Roman. So Kingston was born at the time I was in junior college. So
it was the mentality switch, like, yo, I got a son now.
Nah, that's all. Yo, I feel like I was already hooping like I had a son. So it just made it that much more pleasurable, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, my mentality was, I'm not the best. I need to be the best. Even when I started getting considered as he's an issue, I always felt like it was always something for me to improve on. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, I wasn't the biggest, so I always had to play with a chip on my shoulder. Then boom, bro, we had players. I feel like all of our starting 5 should have went and played in the Big East, but they made other decisions. Like my boy Larry Grant, McDonald's All-American. No, not McDonald's All-American, but Juco All-American. He ended up choosing the wrong school, went out west, Fresno State, ended up flunking out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, so just not having the right support system around us to tell us, hey, I don't think that's a good fit for you. This may be a better fit for you. You know what I mean? But had my boy Taj Willie, he from the Bronx. He ended up choosing to go back home because his mom got sick at the time. He had hella schools too. He ended up going back to Iona. That's when they went to like the Elite 8 or Sweet 16 or whatever. Had a real good team. Then my boy Cody Clark, he went to Arkansas. He played on the Celtics and things of that nature. But like I said, the list goes. Tarvin Gaines, he ended up going to Jacksonville State. He really had a bunch of schools as well. But you know what I mean? Like, so he ended up just staying. They ended up just staying local. We had people go to Arkansas, Pine Bluff, bro. The list goes on. I end up going and playing Depaul University in Chicago. I didn't even visit the school. I'm going to tell you this too. I've never told anybody this too. I got in trouble going out to Houston, NCAA. I didn't even get in trouble, but you know what I mean? Like, end up squashing me going to school out there. I signed to go to school out there.
Where
and
where you signed to go to school at? In Houston?
Yeah, not Houston University, but Texas Southern.
Texas Southern.
Southern. It's crazy thing that they in the SWAC.
Yeah, that's just a smaller school in Depaul.
It's a smaller school, but ultimately
the SWAC is like what? That's like Jackson State.
Yeah, but I was going there because of how they took care of me. They made sure, like,
felt like everything. You was the man on campus. You was gonna be highly accommodated.
And not only that, the structure that they had there. Yes, it was a low level school, but guess what? When I went there,
was crazy.
When I went there, John Lucas, who got drafted #1, he's one of the best trainers in the country, and he seeks talent for the NBA. He's a trainer there because that's where he's from, and his kids there, and he got drafted #1 back in the 80s. John Lucas III, I believe. And my Saturday morning, I wake up. That's who I train with off rip. Like, you think you're going back to the crib during the summer now? You're gonna stay here and get ready for the NBA? I leave there. I go to breakfast. I meet with I forgot his name, but he's a guy that chooses the Team USA. He chooses Team USA, but the college players.
Right.
So I go to have breakfast with him. So I'm saying, I'm like, damn, this shit is laid out for me to get to the A. It's already laid out.
Yeah.
So I wasn't caught up. I wasn't caught up in the name.
Right.
Because
already.
Everything was laid out. Like, bro, all I had to do was walk down this aisle.
There.
Look, this is the NBA right here. All I had to do was walk down this aisle. I was gonna walk. You feel me? Like, the NBA is right there. I'm around all of these guys I'm already in Houston. They have the Houston Rockets there. You feel me? We playing high level basketball. Like, our non-conference, we played against teams in the top 25. So I wasn't really worried about the SWAC being a SWAC. I just knew that I was around people who actually cared about my future and my well-being. So I didn't get caught up in the hype. Because you can get caught up in the hype and go to a tour DePaul and don't play.
Yeah, they just
go to a Texas Tech
the bench
and don't play.
Right.
And go to a
wherever, Syracuse,
anywhere,
like a major
and
program,
don't play.
and they don't even care about you on top of not playing. Like,
And not only that, this shit is, the system is bigger than.
it's a business. You start to notice that once you get to college, it's not just like your high school. What's up? Where you at? Let's come work. Like, college basketball is a real business.
You remember how it used to be? If you play hard and kill in practice, you won't play.
Nah.
No.
You could kill and kill in college practice every day and still sit at the bottom of the bench.
You can
just
kill.
it's more political in this business.
You can kill any starter. You know why? You about to tell me if I come here and I kill somebody who was a McDonald's All-American, or I come here and I killed somebody who was Big East Rookie of the Year,
yeah.
I'm going to play over them?
No.
No. So we don't understand the schematics in the back end of that, because it's money. It's a lot of money that's behind the scenes that we don't see with boosters, institutions. Bro, these coaches my coach was getting paid $3.5 million a year, bro.
Where, at what school?
At Depaul University.
Damn. And this was before NIL and players was able to make money and shit like that. So you got the coach making 3.5 on paper. Like, he's making 3.5 that everybody knows about.
And then we looking at it like, okay, cool. Then the NCAA could say, nah, you can't give a kid no money. So then it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy how, just like looking back about it. So you thinking that you're gonna come here and take somebody's spot? You're not taking nobody's spot, bro.
Yeah, it's already written in stone who's playing this year.
I'm not gonna lie, the only way you can take somebody's spot
injured
is either that, or once you get in, they can't deny you.
Yeah, like, yo, he came up the bench and just had 30 in 10 minutes.
But you want to know what's crazy? My senior year at DePaul, I was in the running for Big East 6th Man of the Year.
So when you get to DePaul, you coming off the bench at DePaul, junior and senior year. But we
had two players.
It's DePaul. It's the Big East, though.
We not stacked, though, bro. We at the bottom of the Big East.
It's still a Big East.
Still a Big East.
Like,
still a Big East.
What's a few rundowns of Big East teams back then? Syracuse.
Then we had 16 teams. We had the original Big East. Georgetown.
Louisville. In there, Syracuse.
Notre Dame. West Virginia. Pittsburgh. UConn.
Yeah.
Rutgers.
Yeah, that's the
St.
highest level of
John's.
basketball you're going to get. You got, like, what, ACC, Duke, and schools like that.
Bro, the list, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And at that time, all of my peers who from Greenberg,
so
from
just
Brooklyn,
to put
New
it in
York,
perspective for them, like, DePaul would be at the top of the SWAC or the top of, any of these other conferences. No brainer.
Yeah, I believe so. Because we had good team. We had a good team, but it was the off the court issues that, like, off the court hidden